Great games, great goals. It's a great title, isn't it? And we'll fully justify those words in the games coming up. Some great victories over local rivals Birmingham City in the middle of the 80s. And Ron Atkinson's teams producing great individual goals. Superb efforts from Dwight York, Dalian Atkinson and Dean Saunders. They're all here. They are great games and great goals. You've served throughout the 80s with Aston Villa. You know, you are the 80s, if you like, with the club. And you've served under quite a few different managers in that time, a few different teams and styles of teams as well. Yeah,
I mean, definitely. I mean, it was from the beginning, the organisation of Ron Saunders' team, and then Tony Barton taking over and continuing that and probably relaxing the mood a little bit more and letting the team play, you know, football a bit more. And then the short period with Graham Turner. At different styles all the way, you know, Graham Taylor's systematic way of playing football, and of course the current manager now, who's you know, is a big flair manager who likes to see his team passing the ball.
Victories against the local opposition are always sweet, aren't they? None sweeter than a 5-0 hammering of Birmingham City at Villa Park. The opposition were destroyed. Villa were rampant.
18-year-old Tony Elliott, a product of the FA's School of Excellence, touched the ball after just 45 seconds, picking a Derek Mountfield header out of the net. The fourth goal after just 17 minutes was scored by teenager Ian Olney, his first for Aston Villa's senior side. But pride of place goes to Tony Daly, the fifth and final goal, a masterpiece and due reward for a night in which, despite the awful conditions, had seen the winger give the Birmingham defence the runaround and left Tony Elliott wondering what had hit him.
You know, they were obviously down in the dumps a little bit, and we rolled them a little bit, and we were expected to do it. We were on a hiding to nothing. We were expected to do that, and we went out and did a professional job on the night, and you know, beating Blues is, you know, great pleasure. Again, it's great pleasure for the players, but it's a lot better for the fans because they can go to work the next day and rib all their mates.
Goal number 1 stemmed from Tony Daly's corner after just 3 minutes. David Platt opened the night's account. The second was half an hour in coming. McAnally's strong run and cross found Birmingham wanting again. Bernie Gallagher made it 2. 2 minutes later, Villa were 3 up. Another corner, this time from Cowans, and Derek Mountfield provided the final touch. McAnally's recent goal touch hasn't left him. He notched number 4 as Villa scored 3 times in 4 minutes. Poor Birmingham had nothing to offer, and it was no surprise when number 5 came. Alan Evans on the score sheet this time. In the second half, they eased off, their only success courtesy of more Birmingham benevolence. It gave McAnally his second and Villa a 6-0 win.
Another League Cup match to savour now. And watch out for a great goal from Rambo himself, Alan McAnally, taking on Millwall single-handed.
Sometimes it takes a shock to jolt a team into action. It shocked Nigel Spink, it shocked the whole of the Aston Villa team and crowd. Neil Ruddock, though, was a very happy boy. Millwall's early success, though, didn't last. David Platt showed the aggression Graham Taylor's been demanding. It released Alan McAnally, and that put Aston Villa level. It took a very special goal to stamp Villa's authority on the game. Watch the speed and determination of McAnally, 70 yards from goal and all alone. He rode 3 tackles and his luck. It's the sort of goal you don't see very often. Then David Platt sprang the offside track for once, drew horn, and that was number 3. With another home tie in the next round, the scent of cup success is in the air at Villa Park, especially for Alan McAnally.
Graham Taylor had a great spell at Villa Park. And perhaps the greatest game in that spell was a 6-2 hammering of Everton in front of the live cameras at Villa Park. Could have been 10-0, but 6-2 it was, a magnificent game.
Stability through that midfield as well, McCall and Whiteside in particular. And what might be interesting, Ian, is something you were talking to me just before we came on the air, the battle between Whiteside and Paul McGrath, 2 great mates in their Manchester United days. Oh, but in the moment, here's Cowans, free, He's got Platt up alongside him. It's a goal! A great start for Aston Villa. Cowan's first goal of the season. Hit with tremendous venom. So many good things emanate from Gordon Cowans, and his their good spell, Villas, has really coincided with his return for the team. And there's a great shot, and Olney will force it home. Good work by Platt leading up to it. Southall got a touch, but Olney really made sure. And Villa go 2 up. Is with the number 6 only. And Tony Ward giving Whiteside, I would have thought, possibly a final warning there. Remember, he's already had the yellow card. Cowans then with one of those tantalising free kicks. Platt there first! A brilliant goal by David Platt! It's 3-0. The joy at Villa Park. An astonishing performance by Aston Villa. An amazing start with 3 goals. They're tough times actually for the Everton defence without the likes of Ratcliffe and now Watson and no Snowden and no Poynton. It's a real makeshift defence. It faces another big examination here as Gage takes it up this time. Gets it through to Platt. He's got another one. A brilliant goal again by David Platt. The second for Platt, and satisfaction for the manager. Nobody scored a hat-trick against Everton for Villa in 60 years. David Platt needs one more to do that. Here's Ormonroyd. Platt up there, Olney up there, Ormonroyd weaving his own way, and a good shot! And Olney! It's astonishing, this! They can't believe it on the terraces, but they're celebrating it nonetheless. Terrific work here by Ian Ormonroyd. Everton pulled all over the place. Nielsen is up from the defence, so too is Mountfield as Villa look for goal number 6. It's gone in! Probably straight in.
Maybe Derek Mountfield, I don't know.
Mountfield?
Well, Mountfield was at the back post.
Nobody's sure, but let's have a look here. Buller's already played, of course, didn't he? Remember against Scotland?
I'm trying to forget that.
Well, here come Everton now with Cotty. (6-1). Sharp for Everton. Beagrie for Everton. Ebrel away on that far side for them. Seeking to put a stamp of respectability on this afternoon of football. Cotty again. Beagrie. And it's in there!
You simply murdered them, didn't you? I think you went to the top of the table or near it with that game, and it could have been a lot more, and once again you scored in that game.
Yeah, I think this was the time when they started doing the Sunday games, the live games, and it was one of the earliest ones. At the time, I don't think we were doing too well, really, and they came to Villa Park, and we started off very well. I made a through run for once. Chris Price slipped me through, and I bit the offside trap and went through and hit it into the far post past Neville Southall, and we went on from there to score 6 goals. They got back into a little bit second half, getting 2, but we scored 6 goals, and absolutely, we're fabulous on the day.
You had 3 spells with Villa during the 80s, if you like, or 2 clubs away, but always seemed to be here your spiritual home in Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's probably 3 different sides at the club, maybe more than that, really. Obviously the side, starting before that, late 70s, the side that won the League Cup. Then onto the early 80s, winning the League Championship, European Cup, Super Cup, and then there's a bit of a change in the club. With Ron Saunders and Tony Barton leaving, Graham Turner came in and brought a lot of new faces in, and sort of more or less built another side then. Then I had 3 years over in Italy, came back, and again the management had changed again. Graham Taylor was here with a hell of a lot of new faces again.
1989 to 90 in Manchester United. 0-0 at half time. But watch Villa go in the second half. A 3-0 victory coming up.
In the corresponding fixture last season, Leighton was the difference between the sides, and it was again looking as though that might be the case. The keeper hanging on to this header from Derek Manfield. But 10 minutes after the break, Villa at last found a way through. Gordon Cowans with the free kick. Olney's first header is cleared, but United were kept under pressure. Platt gets himself into a bit of a tangle. Olney capitalises for his 9th goal of the season. Villa's other striker, David Platt, has also been among the goals this season, forcing his way into the England side, and he got his 14th of the season 8 minutes later. It was an excellent move, started by Cowans, Olney getting Tony Daly away, and Platt, who was a junior at Old Trafford, a delightful and clever scorer. United's best effort came from Clayton Blackmore, deputising for the injured Robson. Pallister and Mark Hughes twice tried to force a way through. Phelan feeding Pallister. Hughes again beaten to the ball, but it runs kindly for Blackmore, whose shot is just wide of the upright. Aston Villa were quick with their response. Kent Nielsen forging forward on the right-hand side. The cross is inviting. Stuart Gray's header inches wide. Villa at last put it beyond doubt, though, 12 minutes from time. Again, a lovely build-up on that right. Cowans involved. Daly's cross. Platt is the target on the edge of the box. And Kevin Gage thunders the third past Leighton. Aston Villa 3, Manchester United 0.
89-90 was the season Aston Villa came so close and yet so far to Division 1 glory. One of the great games along the way was against Arsenal, and watch David Platt, one of the superstars of world football now, take them on.
Tremendous sense of expectation at Villa Park. Aston Villa, who started the season rather shabbily and have really come good over the last 3 months. This will be a real barometer, though, for their progress. David Rocastle was the other scorer, but he's only a substitute today. Here's Williams. Lukic has lost it. He's had to wait a while for an opportunity, and it's come as a left-back. But the attacking instincts are still there, as you can see, and it was too hot for Lukic to hold. Nielsen. That was Williams coming in. Platt for Cowans, and Cowans has hit it well. Lukic was concerned about how much the ball might dip, and Gordon Cowans looking to finish the 80s with a goal in Villa's last match of the decade, and he scored in the first match of the 80s for them. Smith timed his jump well. McGrath, Smith, but it's not really under control, and Nielsen spurning the back pass. So too did Platt. A little flick from McGrath. A more penetrating pass from Platt, on from Ormondroyd, and now Williams. This is encouraging from Aston Villa. Williams, the converted winger. Ormondroyd. And again. Kevin Gage, he's not offside. Oh, and a full stretch was Daly. Well, it isn't easy to open up Arsenal, but Aston Villa did that then. Ormondroyd got a free jump this time. Daly, away from Adams. He's got Gage to his right, blocked by O'Leary. And it stayed in play, and again Arsenal was slow to react. And Ormondroyd, was he impeded? It's with Williams. Aston Villa feel they should have had a penalty, and Ormondroyd in particular is very angry. but twice now Kevin Gage has been able to lift dangerous balls into that Arsenal penalty area. It won't run for Adams, he's got to play it. He was looking to get a goal kick out of it. Gage. Great work by Kevin Gage! A scorer here against Manchester United in the last Aston Villa match. And Adams and his colleagues pressed all the way back there. And Gage went on, his eyes really only on goal, and he very nearly found it. Here's Daly again. Cowans. Ormond against Bold in the centre. Platt. Oh, he's done it brilliantly. Wonderful goal. David Platt. A great year it's been for him. And he continues this amazing run. 8 games now in the league on this ground in a row in which Platt has scored. And this must be one of the best. It was a brilliant turn then. A terrific technician who lost David O'Leary and buried it past John Lukic. Deservedly, Aston Villa in front in the 39th minute. He's got the better of Adams and he's stopped very cleanly by O'Leary. Cowans. Smith, but he was pushed. Free kick quickly taken by Arsenal. And that's Merson inviting Dixon to roar up on the far side. Can Groves deal with this? He can. And Spink, has he got it? In the end, it's confusion, and the whistle has gone in any case. Oh, Adams, a shot's on here. Smith. And now Merson's free, and Nigel Spink just got down in time for a fine save. But the goalkeeper was exposed then. Merson with plenty of room close to goal to set himself for the volley, unattended. Merson. That's Dixon. Smith, can he get it down? No. And around him his teammates were putting hands to heads in disappointment. Ormond-Roy. Olney. Oh, Villa wanted to play on. I think that was a free kick by Platt. Ormond-Roy. Is it Platt again? It still could be David Platt, and Tony Adams was able to stand in the line of the shot to save Arsenal. And Villa break free from the shackles to have a corner. Daly, maybe Villa will score from it. Derek Mountfield, they have! Arsenal in a line, look at the linesman. Lukic in disbelief. And just at a time when Aston Villa's lead looks so fragile, they spring the Arsenal offside trap with Tony Daly's cross and a solid header from Derek Mountfield. He was unmarked because Arsenal expected the whistle. They didn't get it. It's Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 0. It's just a bold effort by Arsenal here in adversity. They've lost really all the shape, but they're getting players forward. Thomas. It's another corner. There have been plenty of those in the second half. There might be a goal here, though, simply through weight of numbers. Groves. That's Adams. But there still may be time. 2-1. And he wants to get the game restarted. Has it come too late for Arsenal? Groves got the cross, and Adams was there first. Took a flick off McGrath on the way in. Daly. We're into stoppage time, and Daly to Platt. Platt can make sure he hasn't done that, thanks to a fine save by Lukic. And Arsenal, reprieve perhaps. Maybe time for one last surge from them. McGrath, but it is all over. David Platt celebrates, and what a difference a year can make. Aston Villa avenge a 3-0 defeat by Arsenal here exactly a year ago. Platt scored a splendid goal in the first half. A final score at Villa Park: Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1.
Season 1991, Sunderland the opposition. Watch out for a special Daly goal in this game. Aston Villa beating Sunderland 3-0. A new manager, Nigel, Ron Atkinson, takes over, shakes the team up in a big way. He's still in goal. A new team virtually, Sheffield Wednesday away, and quite an amazing game.
Well, it was from the all the publicity that there was when the manager moved down from Sheffield Wednesday in the first place, and then to pull Sheffield Wednesday away in the first game must have been tremendous pressure on the manager, and I think must have been beyond his dreams really to come away with a victory from Hillsborough. I think he settled for a draw, but the boys, as you say, a new team thrown together, pulled the stuff out for him, and that was a memorable day. That was a great victory for us. Not just for the fans, everybody, but to set the manager up, and to really get him going with his new club.
Bit of a soft touch, and Palmer able to feed Hurst, who brings it onto his left foot. What a start to the season for David Hurst, and what a start for Wednesday. He's in possession, and under the four-step rule has to clear immediately. Sheridan brings himself away beautifully from a tight corner, delivered to Williams. A lot of Villaman around him, so he plays a lovely pass out to Phil King. Support coming from Worthington. The ball then put away by Richardson. Sheridan might try another dip. Over the top. First looks extremely sharp. Oh, what a back pass. Williams in for the second, maybe. Excellent stop by Smith. Paul Williams had the opportunity there to give Villa a real problem. Hurst on that left foot. Oh, how does he get out of some of these situations? And he sets off like a greyhound from the trap again. Superbly done, a chance for number 2! Beautifully struck by Danny Wilson, but enormous credit to David Hurst. Forward, Williams on the chase, And he'll get into the area here. Only Teal is in front of him. Can he finish it off? Williams! Against the outside of the upright, I fancy. And the ball striking the back of York's ankle. To be fair to him, he's done well to be digging in there to try and win it back. He's not done so, and so Hurst, everything's breaking for him today. He even missed kick there, and it still landed again for him. Worthington, the ball in is for Palmer! Sliced off the outside of the right boot. And it looks a good one as well, and a difficult flap, and the ball's in the net for Aston Villa, and Cyril Regis has his first goal for Villa on his debut. Chris Woods caught a little bit by that tricky corner from Gordon Cowans, and there's no one better to pounce than Cyril Regis. Let's have a look again. There's Woods, he didn't get a clean punch, and Regis swooping to head the ball in. There was nothing anybody could do about it. There was Woods, there was Regis, and it's 2-1. And about watching that threat of Hurst and Williams in particular. They got 106 goals last season, but they're having to defend now. Here's Mortimer. Well, he was in a shooting position, and Dwight York coming in, could still round it off. Went for the near post. Chris Woods felt as though he had to get down to stop it, even though I'm sure it was going wide. Richardson's loop ball is aimed at Atkinson. Force for Regis, brilliant ball from Regis to Mortimer. He can make it 2-2 here. Fine save, but Atkinson's there. And it's just the return that Dale Atkinson would have dreamed of. Atkinson's first goal as an Aston Villa player. He didn't score any in pre-season, but he's got one when it matters most against his old club, Sheffield Wednesday. So the turnaround comes. It was a lovely ball slipped through by Regis. Mortimer might well have scored himself. Chris Woods thought he'd done enough. Atkinson was there to make sure he hadn't. What a ball that is from Cyril Regis. It's absolutely bisected Wednesday. Mortimer may well have felt that he could have scored, but it's Dalian Atkinson who pounces. Warhurst has found Wilson. That's a good ball as well. Pearson to Palmer, three men calling for it in the box, and Williams was coming, and it somehow got all the way through to Spink without a deflection. Forward of him, Hurst, lovely close control again. David Hurst again, he'll try his luck, left foot, and Spink scrambles it wide. Corner, free kick, Cowans, free header, Mountfield, and it was saved by Woods, but the flag was up. Sheridan, nicely done. And now he plays it wide for Worthington. Wednesday with three men edge of the area. It's come through to Hurst, and brilliantly done. Sheridan, oh, it's a great effort, and it deserved a goal. Regis holding off the first challenge, trying to get around the second. Dwight York, he's onside, and Chris Woods makes the save. York follows through and scores. And they don't believe it. Is it given? Is it not given? No, the linesman now is flagging. Two Wednesday men have gone on the line. Spink can't come for this one. Oh, appeals for handball, not given, and the referee was right. It struck him in the chest. And it's Villa's turn to come on the charge. And Atkinson, it's going to be 1 against 1 here. Chris Woods waits, and it's squared for Staunton. And Steve Staunton strikes what might well prove to be a winner for Villa. Wednesday really caught out Atkinson's pace, but really they left him unattended.
Ron's first season in charge brought no crazier game than Spurs away. Spurs 2 goals up and coasting it, and suddenly Villa caught fire and hammered them 5-2.
Touch with a hand then, but on he goes, and this is a real chance. A goal for Lineker. Mike Kreutz heads out. of Staunton, powering over the cross. Oh, an own goal, Sean Teal. It's Parker who takes it up for Villa, kept in by York. Oh, it's terrific play from Dwight York. Regis again, and knocked in by Richardson. 2-1. So Aston Villa have a save. And Kevin Richardson takes the ball back with a real sense of purpose. Spurs rather wrapped over the knuckles here. York made it all happen. Regis got free at the far post, and Richardson did the rest. A wonderful wriggling run by Dwight York. An unselfish header by Regis. And Richardson had run into the centre to round it all off. Regis across in front of Mabbott. These two have battled together often enough down the years. Richardson takes the free kick. Oh, and it's only 2-2 it is. Ian Walker came for it, didn't get there. Villa and their supporters, who've had some struggles on their travels, can't believe what they're seeing here. This is a feast. Goalkeeper hesitated and was lost. Ian Olney just had to make contact. Dwight York was the distraction. Olney the opportunist. Regis, wrong-footed Mabbott. York is there, and Aston Villa, who were 2-0 down, lead by 3-2. "13 minutes into the second half, the sunny smile of Dwight York, who claimed the winning goal at this very end of the ground in the replay, the third round of the FA Cup, to knock Spurs out. Now he's got them into their strike. The first they touched there. Although he caught it, Regis ran on a crosswalk of York, and extraordinary game takes a that's great. By this decision. And was the ground. Put that penalty to the right. Go time. Failure.